According to Wikipedia, Halloween Resurrection is a 2002 American horror film and the eighth installment in the Halloween film series. At least, that's what it is now. But before that time, it was so much more. It had so many different titles. And if you don't believe me, take a look for yourself. Halloween Resurrection was listed under many different titles, including Halloween The Homecoming, Halloween 8, Halloween 8 MichaelMyers.com, Halloween 8 The Homecoming, but the most infamous title of them all was Halloween H2k, Evil Never Dies. This title was probably slapped onto the project because they thought Michael Myers was going to return in the year 2000, and according to rumor and speculation, the idea was conceived in August of 1999, shortly after Halloween H2O. But for some unknown reasons, H2K never showed up. Script problems, perhaps? Maybe Mustafa was having problems getting the storyline together. I've heard so many different premises and pitches for H2K, a.k.a. Halloween 8, a.k.a. Halloween Resurrection. But just so we can clear this all up, for every fan that says that Resurrection ruined H2O, it's not true. Because sadly, Jamie Lee Curtis's character Laurie was going to be killed by Michael Myers. It was just her destiny, both in real life and as her on-screen counterpart. I've often heard it said that she was only going to come back for a 30-second cameo, but then somehow they lengthened it to 15 minutes. According to Jamie Lee Curtis in a 2010 interview, she wasn't even aware of the fact that you couldn't kill Michael Myers. She had said in 2010 that when she went in to do H2O, she went into the project hoping to kill him, which would explain why she chopped off his head. And then when she learned that Myers couldn't be killed, she asked the producers if it were okay if she could lead them to believe that Michael might be dead. As of right now, I am on an unofficial website where the producers clearly can see that the fans would question Myers' ability to come back even after being decapitated. A fan writes, "I know what you must be thinking right about now. How can Michael Myers come back?" End of quote. Well, it does appear that it wasn't his head that was chopped off in Halloween H2O. Whose head was it? Well, there are many rumors revolving around this question. Some say it was a medic, while others say it was Dr. Wynn from Halloween 6, or someone from the school. Just to clear up this little misconception, Resurrection never ruined H2O because Michael Myers was never really dead, and his producer Mustafa Akkad had no intention of killing him in the first place. The article goes on to read, quote, "Anyways, H2k is going to take us back to Haddonfield and is going to somehow connect to Halloween 6 and Halloween H20. No matter what is going to be done, I can't wait for the movie. End of quote. Again, a fan questions Myers' ability to come back, and it reads as follows. How can Mike Myers be back? Well, as we all know, his head was chopped off in Halloween H20. Or was it? Several rumors have been flying around about this. Here are some of them. The first rumor says, quote, Michael switched places with one of the medics that came to the school. That would explain why he grabbed his mask and showed emotions when stuck between the car and the tree. Another scenario reads that Dr. Wynn, the man in black from parts 5 and 6, was dressed as a medic and switched places with Michael. That would explain his escaping the body bag, attacking Laurie, and showing emotions. In other words, what they're trying to say is that sometimes it appeared that it was Michael Myers, and sometimes it appeared that it wasn't. And once again, I would like to clue you in on the fact that Michael Myers was always going to come back. It was inevitable. I will put the link in the description box for you to read. And I want you all to know that Laurie was going to be killed. That was the main idea of resurrection. And even though they switched everything else, they did stick with the main idea. And the main idea was that Michael Myers would come back and kill Laurie. This video is dedicated to one of my subscribers, the Skull Clown. He was having trouble understanding resurrection. And if you're listening to this, Skull Clown, you now know that they went through a lot to make this movie. And unfortunately, you just got stuck with what they ended up making after all. So to correct you all one last time, H2O was never meant to be the final movie of the franchise, despite what they led you to believe. If you don't want to go by what the article says, that's your own problem. I'm simply stating the facts. He was never actually dead. The Skull Clown also commented on Busta Rhymes. You know, why did Busta Rhymes have to be in the movie? As you said, they had to appeal to the hip-hop audience. And while I didn't exactly agree with their decision, I understand why they did it. You see, you have to understand that Halloween H20 was the last movie of the 90s. The last Halloween product of the 90s. Therefore, when Resurrection came around, it was time to give it a Millennium kind of feel, which is why they added things like computers and instant messaging and web chats and webcasts and things like that, because that's what they were doing at that time. And they were sort of basing it on reality, just as we use computers today. Now you know all that you need to know about Resurrection. It got delayed for so many reasons. And unfortunately, as I stated, you just ended up getting stuck with what they had left. But you complained about Laurie Strode dying. Well, I have news for you, my friend. She was always going to die. Even Larry Brand, the writer of Halloween Resurrection, says that it was always understood that she would be killed. At first, she was going to commit suicide. But according to Larry Brand, Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't comfortable with her character committing suicide. So I guess that she thought a better way to exit the series would be to have her brother Michael kill her. So you see, either way she was going to be killed. And that's that, whether you like it or not. She was going to die. It was meant for her to die. And if you watch the Halloween series, especially part 1, they talk about fate and how fate can't be changed. It was Laurie's fate to die. In part 8, whether it was called Resurrection, whether it was called The Homecoming, or MichaelMyers.com, or even H2k, the fact remains that Michael Myers never died at all, despite what the fans believe, and he had come back to kill Laurie. He was supposed to come back in 2000, but he didn't. He ended up coming back the following year, in 2001, and killing Laurie. A year later, in 2002, he goes home to find a bunch of kids in his house, and it kind of ticked them off, so he killed them. End of story. There you have it, the truth behind Halloween Resurrection. I will put the link in the description box for you to read it yourself. Thank you very much. I'm the Michael Myers fanatic. I approve this message. This has been the truth behind 2002's Halloween Resurrection. Thank you.